Today we are going to work on tracing our artwork from a sketch in Illustrator. So if you are about here where your 10 sketches are done, you can go ahead and scan your sketches in or take a photograph of them and email them to yourself so that they can be in your email so that you can download them and bring them into Illustrator. You'll need a sketch today, and we will also need to be using Illustrator today. So this is kind of in between right here. I'm just going to start new and fresh so you can see how I got started. I'm going to go new, 11 by 17, create. This should be big enough to hold my image. Now, if you drag your image into the document, you'll notice that there's an X there. The X is bad news. It doesn't mean that this image is actually in this file. It's only in this file because it's on my desktop. If you try to send this file to someone, the image will disappear because of this X. So the way you fix that is you hit embed like this, and you notice that the X is now gone. Getting started, what I'll do is I'm going to choose the image that I'm going to trace, which is going to be this one here. Looks like I named it Open Road Tiki. And what I want to do is I want to lock it in place so that I can trace over the top. Before I lock it in place, I want to make it transparent. So if you watch my mouse, it's going to go to these three lines which say stroke. You're going to click on stroke, you're going to go to transparency, and then you're going to drop the transparency so that it's not as dark. As soon as you do this, you can go back here to the layer panel and you can give it a lock like that. You just click the little lock here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another layer on top by clicking the plus symbol, create a new layer. And layer 2 is the layer that we're going to actually be working on. So just a little review on the fill and stroke in Illustrator. So the fill is whatever, let's give it a color. The fill is exactly what it says. It fills. And the stroke is the outline. So if I hit this little arrow right now, it goes ahead and turns it into an outline. If you want to choose a different color, you double click and then you can choose, and I'm going to choose black, and then I'm going to delete this so that I can go ahead and get started. All right, now I'm going to use the pen tool. The reason why we're using Illustrator is because this is a vector-based program, which means that if you make something in here, you can enlarge it to as big as a billboard. You can make it small as you want, but because it's done in a vector way, it will be able to enlarge as much as you want. All right, now that I got my pen tool, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start tracing. When you guys trace your logos, try to trace them in a way where you're creating a complete shape. So you see how I just did the eyes here? I can leave them, I'm going to leave them outlines for right now, but if I wanted to fill them in now, I could just fill them in by doing this. I'm going to hit Command 2 to lock this in place so that I can go ahead and continue tracing. Now, I'm just going to do the one line here. I'm not going to keep going and try to complete this because it won't work out right. It'll be fouled. So I'm going to lock this line, and then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do the nose section, just like that. As I'm moving along, I'm trying again to look for full shapes that I can trace. For instance, like the cheek here, I'm going to go ahead and make that one shape. Command 2 locks it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and connect the two shapes like that. There's a lot of different ways to go about doing this. For instance, like if I'm going to do the side and I need to trace back over a line that I made, I would do that just so that I can get a clean shape. And the reason why I want to try to get clean shapes is because they're easier to fill than just chaotic line tracing. You guys want to avoid any kind of chaos when you're tracing with the lines. Um, I think that this is enough for now. I'm going to show you a finished one. So this is what it looks like finished. And as you can see, when I traced it, I made some changes while I'm tracing, and that's completely okay if you guys want to do adjustments, but just make sure that you're not going off course. Let's take a look here. So if I make this transparent, you can see the sketch underneath and how I use the sketch as my guide to trace. And that's what I'm going to recommend for you guys, is to go ahead and use that to trace. This logo can be used for just about anything. If you look on my webpage and you go to my portfolio, you will see that each page of my portfolio shows a title block with my logo, my name, and my title. And this is the kind of branding that is current for all branding, for all designers, whether you design graphics or you design furniture or whatever it is. It's very important that, one, people know who did it, and you show your creativity in your logo styles. This is some of the work that I did for Disney. This is some of the work that I did for Bravado. I did some Wu-Tang Clan designs, Led Zeppelin, Paul Oakenfold, Avenged Sevenfold, Eazy-E. I did work for Jameson, and as you can see, this is how I present my work. From now on in the future, students will be presenting their work in a similar way, where there's a title block and it shows what assignment was completed. That's about it for right now. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to help with them, and I'll be putting this on the YouTube channel that I made for you guys. Thank you very much, and I can't wait to see all of your logos.